All right, guys, I want to start this by giving some context before I begin talking about Baker Mayfield. If you guys don't know the story, he took a shot at Giants fans today, and I'm pretty upset about it. I really am. So let's start with Baker Mayfield. I've always been a Baker Mayfield fan ever since he came out of the draft. Ever since he was talked about in the draft, like 3 years prior of him actually being in the draft. He's been in college for a long time. And I've always been a Baker Mayfield fan. Always talked well about him. I loved his attitude. I thought I'm on record of saying that we need more attitudes like Baker Mayfield at the quarterback position, because nowadays they're all pushovers, they're all politically correct and things like that. And I'm all for being against the grain on some things and, being a hotshot in some ways just to show that you care and show your passion. I don't mind that whatsoever, and that's part of the reason why I also defended Odell Beckham. But today he crossed the line. And I've been seeing this pattern as of late. You guys know the whole controversy that's going on with that went on with Hugh Jackson and how he was eyeing him at the being with the Cincinnati Bengals again, because the whole rivalry thing and all that. And Baker Mayfield just has a very young mentality of how you're playing football, backyard football with your friends, and one of your friends wants to join the other team because they're winning or things like that, and you're so grumpy about it. How your friend is disloyal and things like that. I mean, it's such a young mentality. This is the NFL. This is a business more than college football is. So, it's just a young mentality of thinking about things. And then you talk about his recent comments about Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger, who's obviously not of the status of Baker Mayfield, being in the NFL, being of one of the most talked about NFL quarterbacks in the league right now. And talking about he's not an underdog anymore as well, so he can't beat up on Sam Ehlinger. I know you had the whole Oklahoma-Texas rivalry, but you're in the NFL now. You're on to bigger and better things. You shouldn't be worrying about college rivalries anymore and it's player specifics anymore. It's ridiculous to think about. And then on top of that, you're such a big figure. You're going to have all those all your fans, go ahead and beat up on Sam Ehlinger and kind of ruin his morale and things. It's distasteful. It's just, I'm not going to say it's flat out wrong, but it's just distasteful, and it's something I don't like. And then you have his recent comments about Duke Johnson. Listen, Duke Johnson has the best reason to want to trade than any other player that really wants to trade. You're talking about a team that has Nick Chubb. You're talking about a team that just brought in Kareem Hunt after all of his controversy. A team that doesn't believe in Duke Johnson as much as they said they did. And coming into it, the guy's probably going to be a third or fourth running back on the depth chart, and he's a pretty good running back as well. Other teams can use his specialties on their team as potentially a starting running back, Duke Johnson. So to say that Baker Mayfield is coming out and saying that Duke Johnson is disloyal, and if he doesn't want to be the team, then he's not on my team, or things like that, it's such a immature thought process. You don't support your teammate and wanting to make his money elsewhere. Instead, he has to be a backup for the rest of his life, because otherwise he would be disloyal to the fans, and disloyal to the Browns, and disloyal to King Baker Mayfield. Come on, man. Come on, that's ridiculous. And then now he's talking about the New York Giants. And I know I'm taking a long time in talking about this, but I wanted to give you guys a quick context. There's an article that came out today, and he recently spoke with ESPN, and it came out today. And this was actually brought to my attention by Ron Effect, who made a video about this as well, that I am in complete agreement with Ron Effect in. It says here, by GiantsWire.com. It says here, in discussing the offseason trade of wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr., Mayfield put New York Giants fans in his sights, suggesting it will greatly benefit OBJ to play in front of fans who actually show up and care. It says here, in quotes, he's here to play in front of fans who actually care, who will actually show up to every game and pack the stadium and love him for who he is. Now let's break this down. I'll have you know that the majority, I want to say a good 80% of Giants fans were absolutely distraught and in outrage that Dave Gettleman made the bold move in trading Odell Beckham. And it wasn't just the fact that Dave Gettleman straight up lied to our faces countless times saying that he didn't sign OBJ to trade him. It's that they actually traded Odell Beckham Jr. We loved Odell Beckham Jr. We mindlessly defended Odell Beckham Jr. and whatever he said or did in all of his actions, we mindlessly defended him. Now, I'm one of the people who want the showing of passion in football games, the showing of passion in whatever you do. So I still sort of defend Odell Beckham, but we have to all admit we mindlessly defended Odell Beckham because he wore blue. He wore the royal blue. He wore New York Giants blue. And so we defended our players. And to say that we don't care about Odell Beckham Jr., you guys know my video that I posted while on stream, midstream. I was streaming that game, undrafted analyst, and Odell Beckham gets traded on stream, and I completely go off. That video has about 28,000 views on it, and about 95% of those people watching who commented completely agreed with my statements, and probably still agree with my statements. I've later retracted that and said that, we're moving on from Odell Beckham, and I'm embracing the change. But there are still Giants fans who show up in my comments and say that they're still mad about it, and that they're completely in the right to do so. But still, and this is a shot at all Giants fans, and Giants fans who wanted to see Odell Beckham gone. Bad Dog, I want to get your take on this. You're somebody that ever since 2017 wanted Odell Beckham gone from the Giants organization. And Baker Mayfield is basically giving you the middle finger. Saying that you don't actually care about the Giants. You don't actually care about who Odell Beckham is, what he is, or the fan base, or the organization as a whole, telling us we don't show up to football games. Baker, if you did the slightest lick of research, you would understand that First Energy Stadium, your stadium, only carries about 67,000 fans. The New York Giants Stadium, which happens to be the biggest stadium in the NFL, MetLife Stadium, holds about 82,000 fans, and we come up a little short when it comes to that. We're carrying about 77,000 fans in filling up those seats. But if those fans were to come to First Energy Stadium, we would pack your stadium plus some, okay? Your stadium is packed, for sure, it's packed, but you don't even come close to the seating attendance that we have. So I have no clue what you're talking about. I guess you think that all stadiums have the same amount of seating attendance, but that's not true in the slightest. The Giants Stadium has the biggest, MetLife Stadium has the biggest seating attendance in the NFL. Of course, that should be the hardest stadium to fill, but we still fill it. We come short by about 5,000 or so, but we still pack your stadium. We still outrank your stadium in attendance. So I don't know what you're talking about. Now, I get it. He was drafted to a team that has one of the best fans. I think everybody can say that. The Cleveland Browns fan base have one of the best fans in the sport, right? But you still have your closet Browns fans who constantly, beat down on the Browns. And it's a lot of them. It's a lot of those casual Browns fans. Now you're seeing them coming out of the woodworks, coming out of the trenches, coming out of their gravestones, saying, I've been a Browns fan. Go Browns. My family lives in Cleveland. I've always been a Browns fan. Browns are making the playoffs this year. They're going to win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to be right there to see it. These Cleveland Browns fans, they're great, right? The ones that are showing up in the front seats, they're fantastic. But you have to remember, and Ron Effect brought this up as well, it is so cheap to get a Browns ticket. It's ridiculously cheap. And let's talk about the New York Giants, who keep in mind, is one of the biggest markets in the world. New York City is the biggest market in the world, okay? And the Giants stadium tickets are extremely expensive. It doesn't matter how big of a fan you are. If you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But obviously, you could just dig in your pocket and buy yourself a Browns ticket. So I don't know what Baker Mayfield was actually thinking about. I think he was just trying to create some fire, trying to stir the pot a little bit, and really didn't do any lick of research in these things. Obviously, he doesn't care about the Giants fan base or have anything to do with research of the Giants fan base. So that being said, this is extremely distasteful, man. This is ridiculous, and I can't defend Baker Mayfield for this. I really can't. So I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. I still like Baker Mayfield. I still think that, his attitude is something, of course, a lesser degree of this attitude is definitely what the quarterback position needs. We're getting a lot of snowflakes in the quarterback position right now. Not a lot of tough guys anymore. So I want to see that. But Baker Mayfield really took it up a notch, really crossed the line, attacking fans. You never attack the fans. You never attack fans, dude. Especially if you're a current player in the league, you don't do that. You don't do that. You know, what if Baker Mayfield now joins another team later on in his career, and then he attacks Browns fans? And he's going to be a cancer to organization and fan bases everywhere. So, that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video.